Namaste. This presentation is for educational purposes only and does not claim to diagnose, prevent, or cure any diseases or disorders. The advice and methods of this presentation should not be construed as financial, medical, or psychological advice or treatment. Please seek advice from a professional if you have these issues. And if an exercise does not feel right, please do not perform it. By watching and or participating in this presentation, you understand that results are not guaranteed. Yamajit, John Hollinsby Mayer, Tridevi Chamunda Mandir, and YouTube cannot accept any responsibility for any injuries or damages incurred through the meditations contained in this video. So namaste, and thank you for joining me and for our Tuesday satsang. And this is going to be the beginning of a new series on meditative breathwork. We're going to begin with some real basic ones today, and then I'm going to introduce some practices for different applications. I'd like to say namaste to both Bryce and Jamie. Thank you for joining me right now, and anybody else who's tuned in or tuning in at the moment, please feel free to say hello using the chat function on the bottom of your screen. So one quick announcement: this coming Friday at 7 o'clock will be the next installment of our series Modern Cho Practice for the West, and I'm going to be doing a special one that I learned very recently called the Yutok Ninting Cho. This comes from the healing lineage of Tibetan medicine, and I think you'll find it very interesting. And this is going to be another opportunity for you to experience Cho practice, both in its original Tibetan and in English as well. So you can get the energies of and vibrations of the original wording, and then the meaning in our own language. And namaste to Kim, who just joined us. So our first practice for tonight is really more of a warm-up, because this is a breathwork practice that I begin pretty much every program with, and that is full yogic breath. And very simple, yet very powerful. And I'd like to start out by doing that. And as you breathe with me, I invite you to check in with your body and just take note of any areas of tension that you might be noticing. So you can do any of these breathwork practices seated as I am, on the floor, maybe with a cushion under your hips, or you can also use a straight back chair. So I invite you to find that comfortable position. Make sure your spine is properly aligned. Maybe roll the shoulders back to open the chest to help bring a full breath in. And I invite you to close your eyes and begin breathing slowly and deeply. And again, as you breathe, I invite you to check in with your body. Notice any areas of tension. You can also become aware of tensions on a mental level as well. But the important thing in this particular exercise is to imagine yourself being like a container, like a glass of water. So as you breathe in, we bring the belly out, and then the chest, and we raise the shoulders. And then as we empty, just as we empty a glass of water, we do exactly the opposite. So as we exhale, Shoulders come down, chest comes in, and then the belly toward the spine. So we're inhaling, belly to chest, exhaling, chest to belly. And let's just continue this very simple, powerful practice for the next couple of minutes. You can also use this as an opportunity to still the mind, breathing out the concerns of the day, the concerns of yesterday, the concerns of tomorrow, and focusing on your body, checking in with your body, is a really nice way to bring yourself into the present moment. And you have some choices with this. You can inhale and exhale through the nose. Or you can inhale through the nose, out through the mouth gently. So let's do this for about another minute. Maybe you notice the shoulders beginning to relax and drop away from your ears. Maybe you notice those tensions you became aware of slowly melting away and being carried away with the out-breath. If you came into this practice fatigued, you may find new energy with each inhalation. But just honor whatever you experience during this exercise. And through any of these breathwork practices, if anything else manifests, thoughts, mental pictures, memories, ideas, just honor those. Let yourself be an observer, observing these things from a safe, comfortable distance. Let them come, honor their presence, and then just let them pass. And then I invite you to take a deep and clearing breath. Maybe let it out with a sigh. Let your breath return to normal. And then take a moment and just notice the gentle effects of this practice. Like all of these, that you're going to be learning in this series. These can be practiced anytime and anywhere, whenever you have need. And as we go through these different breathwork practices, I invite you to take note of which forms of the breath are maybe very relaxing to you, or which forms are very energizing. And you can certainly incorporate those in situations where you have those needs. So now I invite you to slowly open your eyes. Just keep your gaze relaxed. Namaste to Mary, who just joined us. So the breath is a very powerful tool. The yogic breath that we just practiced is really the basis for yoga itself. When we make an expanding move, we inhale, and then we bring the limbs closer to the body, or if we're bending, we exhale. So inhaling out, exhaling in. So really our movements are based on the breath. And when I was in graduate school working on my master's in psychology, I learned of the psychology of the Austrian psychologist and psychiatrist Wilhelm Reich. And he found that the use of the breath was very important to the therapeutic methods that he was developing. And it's really based on this idea that when we sit a certain way for a long time, or we're engaged in other forms of work, maybe sitting in an office chair, we don't necessarily breathe fully. The breath becomes inhibited in some way because of our position. So maybe fresh air doesn't come to the lower regions of our lungs. Or if we're slumped over a keyboard, that also holds the breath. And doing this over a long, long time, the muscles tend to get smaller and tighter. And likewise, think of a time when something distressing has happened in your life, something maybe even traumatic. When that thing happens, and what's the first thing that happens? The breath is affected. And if that same kind of stimulation happens again and again and again, it can lead to tightening of the muscles and an inhibition of movement. And that includes the movement of breath and also the circulation of blood throughout our body, and also the circulation of vital energy, what in yoga is known as prana. Wilhelm Reich called it orgone. And Reich's term for those tight muscles that limit our movement, he called that physical armoring. And that armoring can hold memories as well. And so when that armoring is loosened, sometimes we get some memories that come up, and we have an opportunity to process that past event that happened in our lives. And really the beauty of the breath work is when that happens, what comes up is something you're ready to handle. It's something you're ready to work with at that moment. And sometimes there's levels to armoring, and we release the armoring in layers, kind of like peeling the layers of skin off of an onion. And this is incredibly powerful. When I had my counseling practice years ago, I used a lot of breath-related therapy methods, and just amazing results with that. And so breath is life. The breath is so important. It's not just the bringing in of oxygen and exiting carbon dioxide, but also the free flowing of vital force. So the next exercise I'd like to share with you is called box breathing. And this is a 4-part breathing. Think of the 4 sides of a box. So we're going to do about 20 rounds of this, or about 5 minutes worth of it. And this is something you can extend as you become more comfortable with it. And so what box breathing involves is inhaling to the count of 4, holding to the count of 4, exhaling to the count of 4, and then holding with empty lungs to the count of 4. And then again, inhaling 4, holding 4, exhaling 4, holding 4. And this is actually a form of breathing exercise that Navy SEALs do before going into a potentially dangerous mission as well. And you'll find this practice in a number of other modalities related to physical fitness and stress management, anger management as well. So let's go ahead and again come into that comfortable position. Again, roll the shoulders back. Make sure your spine is aligned and you're comfortable. And again, I invite you to close your eyes. And let's let the breath out. And now inhale to 4. Hold 4. Exhale 4. Hold 4. Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 4. Hold 4. So I'm just going to let you continue this on your own. 4, 4, 4, 4. One more. And then take a deep and clearing breath. Let your breath return to normal. And just take a little while and notice the effects. And then again, slowly open, relaxed gaze. And this is a wonderful exercise for anxiety. So something is coming up that you're feeling nervous about, anxious about, something maybe you're even dreading. This is a wonderful exercise to do before going into that experience. So again, this is very often used to help people who are experiencing anxiety over some particular issue. So our final exercise is called Conscious Connecting Breath. And this is going to be a chance for you to explore your breath in different ways. And also a couple of, actually 3 different forms of breathing. And I invite you as we do this to take note as to which form of breath you find energizing, which one you find more relaxing. And this is going to be a form of breathing that's going to involve just inhaling and exhaling with no pause in between. So we're going to inhale and then go directly into the exhale. So I invite you again to make yourself comfortable. Make sure your spine is aligned. Close your eyes and let's just begin with some regular, slow, deep breathing. Just let the experiences thus far drop away so that you can experience these new practices. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do a slow inhale and a quick exhale. So an inhale of about 3 seconds, going immediately into a 1-second exhale. And you can also do a nice sigh to release with that exhale. So let's try that for a couple of minutes. So slow, inhale 1, 2, 3, exhale 1. Just let your breath return to normal again. And just check in with yourself and notice how you're feeling. What kind of effect did this form of breathing bring to you? Was it energizing? Was it relaxing? What happened with that quick release of the breath? And so now we're going to do equal inhalations and exhalations. Maybe 3 seconds in and 3 seconds out, no pause in between. So inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. And just take note of how it feels to inhale and exhale equally. And now I invite you to bring your hands to your belly. Maybe interlace the fingers a little bit. And notice as you inhale how the hands are pushed out. And as you exhale, how they come back in. And also notice with the inhale how the fingers separate, and then as you exhale, they come back together. Just take a moment and observe this belly breath as part of the complete breath. Let's do one more like this. And then bring your hands up to the level of your diaphragm. And again, breathing deeply, 3 in, 3 out. And notice the actions of the upper abdomen. And maybe see if you can increase those expansions and contractions. And let's do one more. And now move your hands to your rib cage. Both sides of the rib cage. And notice the movements of the chest as you inhale and exhale. And maybe even notice the spaces between the ribs as you breathe in and breathe out. Do they become wider and narrower? And maybe as you focus on that area, maybe you even notice a little more widening between each rib with each full inhalation. Which means your chest muscles are beginning to relax. Just as your abdominal muscles were. Let's do a couple more. And bring your hands back to your lap. Continue with the equal inhalations and exhalations, and just take a moment to notice the effects of this practice. And now we're going to reverse the earlier process that we did. We're going to do a quick 1 second inhale and then a 3 second exhale. So inhale 1, exhale 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And something you might try is as you exhale, accompany that with a gentle hissing sound. Just notice what it's like to breathe this way. do one more. And take a deep clearing breath. Just let go of that experience and just breathe normally for a bit. Taking note of subtle changes of these exercises, how you're feeling at the moment. Then slowly bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Listening to our final benediction. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. To all sentient beings, peace, peace, peace. Take a moment to express gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice. Knowing you can use any of these exercises for different situations at any time. And you can also lengthen the time in which you practice any of these exercises as you become comfortable with them. Start out 2 or 3 minutes. Try 4, 5, 6, 10 minutes. And slowly open your eyes. And namaste. Blessings always. Thank you so very much for joining me today. And Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. So I hope you enjoyed those, maybe learned something new that you can try in a certain situation. If you have questions or if there's something you'd like to share about your experience, please feel free to message me on my channel, or better yet, email me at omcdavy@gmail.com. That's om, A-U-M-C, Davy, D-E-V-I, @gmail.com. Love it when you share. Love it when you have questions. So I would advise you I'm feeling very relaxed right now. So take a moment and just let yourself transition slowly back to your daily routines, nightly routines. Maybe notice the subtle effects in your everyday life as a result of doing these practices. Have a wonderful couple of days ahead, and I look forward to you joining me on Friday for our Cha healing meditation. And again, this will be presented as a form of group sound healing. So until then, thank you again. And Pooja came to join us. She's becoming a little internet star. But have a good night, and see you next time. And Jai Mata Di. Thank you again.